Welcome back, everybody. As you can see, we're still unpacking. It's kind of a mess. Upstairs is a little bit more unpacked and settled in at this point. Been focused on the bedrooms. Most of this stuff is going to go probably into the basement, at least temporarily, to get the rooms cleared like this one is, ready to work on. I think this is going to be next week's project, getting that ready for paint and so that we can get furniture into the family room. But look what came back today. It turned out amazing. This is, of course, the wood-burning stove that was found in the basement of the original house. It's been brought back, like, totally functional if we wanted to. There's mortar inside, and we could light a fire in here and heat this thing up if we had a chimney. Of course, we don't. So, but yeah, the repairs have been made so that this isn't all caved in anymore. It's not perfectly flat, but it looks really nice. All the chrome got done. There's some pitting on this chrome. I think it's kind of charming. Gives it a little bit of a sparkle, if you will. It's not chrome, it's nickel. It would not have been originally chrome. It's nickel, so it looks very authentic. The warming closet, which I think is super cool. It's functional here as well. So some of this stuff I wasn't really sure about. I thought this was gonna be nickeled, but it was not originally. So they tried to make it as accurate as they could. Also, I thought that these feet were gonna be chromed because they unbolt, but again, it was not originally. And honestly, it'll probably hold up a little bit better. That is gonna get dinged and kicked and stuff, but it looks fantastic. It's got a little oven, all looking good. This is a shelf for the oven. It's all nickeled. All the hardware got nickeled as well. This gauge, it might as well be brand new. It's phenomenal. I love it. The Wehrle number 85. Yeah, all just turned out so nice. The ashtray and the vents, and like, all of this is functional still. So I'll probably leave it closed, but you can sweep it right out. You can see the sealers even in there. The guy said you can hook it up and run it today if you want. We're not gonna. We want it to look this nice for years and years and years to come. One thing that they couldn't really do right without replacing a whole bunch of it is that there were parts down here that were like rotted through, so they went through and made some repairs as best they could, so that we're not seeing through it anymore. But it's kind of an homage to where this piece came from, and it's around the back. You're basically not going to see that. So yeah, it looks great. So as far as placement goes in the room, I think we're having second thoughts already. We thought we wanted it pretty much in between, but this whole thing is like, the base is in one spot, then it kicks out, then the upper section kicks out in the other direction, and then this section isn't even on top of the base, if you see. So it's kind of all over the place, and we're not sure kind of what to do with it. And if we try to center it on the lights, it doesn't really work. The feet are centered on the lights, but you look at it and it doesn't look centered on the lights. Right? The top looks like it's this way too far, and the bottom looks like it's that way too far. So I think what we're going to end up doing is pulling it over directly under this light, probably with the stovepipe directly under the light, and because that'll be more or less the center of the main part of the stove, you know, cantilever this way, cantilever that way. The weird thing is that the feet don't actually go all the way over under this section, which is weird, right? It's like here, yep, it makes sense. And here, nope, it doesn't make sense. So anyway, we're gonna shift it over and then we're gonna call the electrician back and have him install this light. So we'll have 3 instead of just the 2, which will be a chore, but it's worth it to pull this over another few feet. The other thing that was happening is obviously the door is gonna come and hit and interfere with this. So if we move it over a couple more feet, then at least we'll know that the door won't hit. And that'll make me feel a lot better. I don't want to do any damage to something that we worked really hard to bring back. So there it is, the Wehrle number 85. Back in its spot. I'm sure rested about here in the original house as well. I think if I'm remembering this right, my dad told me that he remembers his grandmother cooking on this thing. So hopefully that gives us some good mojo in the house again. It's beautiful nonetheless. The rest of the kitchen is really coming together. The panels are on, the dishwashers here, and we've got all the hardware on. Handles. They were all really the same pull, except for the appliances, which got a little bit bigger and positioned differently, of course. We're working on the glass. That has been ordered, and it'll be coming in a little bit later, and we're working on getting the crown still delivered. The rest of it is in place. You'll notice we've got a backsplash. We did that cool herringbone over the range here. It's very subtle, but if you're looking at it, it just breaks it up just a little bit. And the other cool thing, I don't know if we're gonna be able to tell in this light, but like some of these are shiny and some of them are matte, and they're kind of randomly placed in there. Again, excuse the mess, but I'm kind of still working in here. You can't, it's really super subtle. We thought it would be a little bit, well, you can kind of catch it there. It's a little bit of a difference. So it gives it some variation, which we're really liking. And the pot fillers kind of for looks. We're probably not going to use that a whole ton, but I can't wait to get the Rita glass in here because it will hide a lot of the stuff that we want to put in here. We don't have a whole lot of like fancy dishware or anything, so it's going to be normal dishes up in these glass cabinets. That's not like we're showcasing them or anything, but the reeded glass will at least obscure the view and kind of make it all unified instead of like bringing your eye all over the place. But yeah, I love how this has turned out. We also moved the fridge back and got it situated and changed the hinges out so that they are stopping just before they hit the cabinets here, which is where they need to. And they both open fully without interfering with anything. And they tuck in just about flush. We were aiming for flush. We were within an inch. That's gonna have to be close enough. I could fight it a little bit more if I want to, and maybe someday I will. Because that inch is to be had. It's there if I wanted it. I'm pretty happy with it. It turned out nice. And then the coffee bar area, we got handles and everything on, waiting on the shelving here and the crown to get finished out. When we get all that stuff, we'll call those guys back. Oh, the one other thing that I've been working on, we got the kind of like sheathing on the back of this. On the back here, what am I saying? On the back of the cabinets, we put 3/4 inch plywood up there so that I can nail off some barn board. That is going to be, well, it's not going to be quite that dark. It's going to be more like that color, that warmer color, more or less the color of the floors here. And it's just going to lay across, and it's rough, and we're going to leave it that way. We're not going to finish it, and we'll just let all of these, dings and dents that the kids are going to put in them add to the patina of this area. So that should be done today. And hopefully in the next week or two, we'll get the rest of the kitchen wrapped up. And then we'll be ready to paint in here. That's the idea, is getting it to paint. The powder room down here is basically ready to paint as well. Got all the poles on here. These match the ones in the kitchen. Just so happens that like we're using all the black fixtures in here, so it totally worked. And we'll have a little, we'll have lots of black. That'll be the color. So we're gonna paint the walls in here that darker gray. And so it'll be darker than this. And then all the trim needs to get painted. So this room is, except for a little shelf I gotta cut away for plumbing that goes in here. Gonna make that cut. That's another thing on my to-do list today and tomorrow. And then it goes in, and yeah, this room will be done as well, or ready for paint. This is the old mirror that we saved. And so when the guys come in to do the rest of the glass, they're gonna take the masonite off the back, and instead of hanging it like a picture frame, they'll mount it to the wall. It'll be a little more secure. And the old one always kind of tipped down a little bit because of how you're hanging it on the picture frame. The wire. So temporary solutions for our closet, kind of sort of working. But yeah, this is kind of the state we're in. I will just take a peek downstairs, I suppose, because it's kind of fun. The boys took all our old furniture and set up their playroom. Where are we? Here we go. So this is more or less, we got to build a wall out here and kind of finish it out, but they've got a pretty sweet spread here, and nice television and plenty of fun games. They were playing Life, I guess, last night. Yeah, it's a sweet playroom. More stuff to unpack back there, even more stuff over there, and some stuff to send to a new home. So lots still happening at the homestead. Outside, not much has changed other than a ton of cleanup. Just so much junk has been blowing around and blown out of the dumpsters over the last 2 years. I've been cleaning up the woods and all the other areas of the small plastic bags and pieces of foam, and the brook is running and flowing nicely. It's beautiful. This is my favorite place in the house to be, at least right now, is to just be able to look out the windows, out at the property. Very private. We get visits all the time from wildlife out here. To be able to see this is exceptional. This is a change from the original house that we're pretty glad we made. Although, when I look across the woods right now, it gives me some anxiety to see all of the down timbers and things that I've got to take care of this spring. It's an awful lot of work. But yeah, it looks like a tornado came through here or something, because we had some pretty strong storms that might have been classified as, I don't know, tornadoes if somebody was watching. So yeah, lots and lots of damage out there to clean up. But that'll be fun for me this spring. Anyway, next time I guess I will give you an update. Probably won't be for a week or two as I tackle that family room and try to get that family room ready to move furniture into. Kind of that's our plan, is to like finalize a space, then move into that space and start using it. That's why I've been working so hard on the kitchen, making it functional so we can live here comfortably and have it done. Paint is one thing, but we really, when we move furniture into a space like that, we don't want to have to go back and touch up baseboard, or it needs to be totally done. So that is what we're doing. When I've made some progress in here, I'll give you an update. And until then, sit tight, and trust that I'm working from sun up to sundown and then some each and every day to try to get it a little bit closer so that we can, I don't know, have people over and enjoy the place instead of just constantly working on it. So till the next video, see you guys later.